Hey, me again. My camera's not in focus. Why are you not focused, camera? What's happening? You have issues? Yes, my camera has issues, clearly. So I'm going to see if it's maybe a smudge. So, bear with me. It's going to feel like I'm wiping your nose. A little bit. Is that better? Not really. So I'm thinking the camera is just out of focus, but... yeah, it's just not focusing. I don't know. I'm going to blame my camera. If I step back, does it focus? Oh, well. Anyway, welcome back to Dynamite Bites. So today, like I said, if you follow me on Facebook, I'm easy to find on Facebook. I said that on the menu this week we were going to have spaghetti. So I'm going to show you how I make my spaghetti. Now, this is kind of, this is a dish, I think we've all grown up on spaghetti, right? But when I was a kid growing up and my mom would make spaghetti, actually this happened when I was 13. So my cousin was getting married and we were having, it was the night we had just gotten to Warsaw, Indiana. So they live in the Midwest. And my cousin was getting married like 2 or so days later. So I think it's like the night before the rehearsal. And my aunt was going to make dinner. And we thought the easiest thing we could make to feed a whole mess of people was spaghetti. So my aunt made what she called poor man's spaghetti. And she just invented the name. So all it is just lazy spaghetti. She took ground beef, browned it, and then put that into a jar of sauce and made her own meat sauce that way. So that was poor man's spaghetti. So then my husband... when I met my husband, he confessed to me that he didn't even like spaghetti because he had it so much growing up. And so I was telling him about my aunt's version of spaghetti. And then he decided, oh, okay, I'll try spaghetti if we do it that way. But he wanted to change it. So instead of hamburger, we used the hot Italian sausage. Now, at my King Supers, this one in this roll like this is incredibly hard to find. Usually you can find like the links, and then you gotta like squeeze it out of the casing like toothpaste. It's a little messy. So I prefer this. Now, I'm going to be doing the spaghetti as technically a one-pot meal. And I'm going to show you how I do that. So I've already got the noodles cooking. I didn't think you'd want me standing here talking while I'm waiting for water to boil. That would be boring. So we're boiling the water. They're cooking the noodles. The water came to a boil. I salted it really well. The noodles are in. I don't measure how many noodles I'm cooking. I just grab a bunch of noodles and throw it. Usually so this is the box I used. So I guess I used maybe just a little less than half the box. I have it for leftovers, and then Saturday, either tomorrow, I'm thinking tomorrow we'll do a leftover night, so I'll do spaghetti with pork tenderloin and all that goodies. And then Sunday, I'm going to make chicken cordon bleu, so I'll do a video for that. So I'm thinking the next couple of days is just going to be leftovers, because I like leftovers. I grew up on leftovers. We call it must-go night. Everything must go. Clean my refrigerator. So, anything that doesn't get eaten after about 3-4 days, the dogs get it. Typically, they get scraps, so we don't like to give them too much people food. You eat enough, don't you, Willie? If you want to be on camera, well, come here. Come to Mom. Come to Mom. Oh, this is Willie. He's our chocolate lab. He's a purebred. He's a ding-dong. Yeah. Don't jump on the counter, please. He's huge. He's very, very big. That's one big boy. No, you're not getting a bone. What do you want? He wants a bone. That's what he wants. Ah! My camera wants to fall. Why do you think you get a bone? Can you see his face? He's right down here in the corner. You think you get a bone? You want a chicken tender? No, you want a bone. All right. All right, Willie wants a bone. Okay, can you come here? Sit. Paw. Good boy. There you go. Okay, go in the other room. Anise, you want one? But you gotta meet everybody. Yeah, if you're gonna get a bone, you have to meet the fans. Meet your fan club. This is Anise. That's Anise. She's gonna take her bone and leave. So my dogs made a mess before I got home, so I get to clean. Ah! Nice. So I get to clean that up later. That'll be fun. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna check the noodles. So I'm just standing over here talking to you and watching the noodles and stirring them occasionally. So a lot of times when I see people cooking pasta, I see them, a lot of people add oil to the water. So I'm just going to go out and say it right now. You don't need to do that. The noodles are not going to stick to each other if you stir the pasta occasionally, especially in the first 2 to 3 minutes of cooking. As they start to soften, that's when they have the tendency more to clump together like that, like they do. So if you're stirring it with, I love this spoon for pasta, all pasta. This is a great spoon for that. As long as you're stirring it with this, and this is a great pasta servings tool, this is the tool I use for all of it. This will keep the noodles from clumping and sticking together, but you just have to kind of work the noodles. So spaghetti might be an easy dish, but it's not something you throw in the pot and forget. You do have to stir the noodles so that they do not clump together, because they will. And then all I'm looking for before I start testing is, are they sticking to the spoon a lot when I try to stir, when I pull the spoon out? Am I getting a lot of noodles sticking? Really? No. Putting this back up because you can't be trusted. If it's yes, if your noodles are sticking, then they're not close to being done yet. So typically it takes, as this is a dried pasta, you're looking at about 11 to 12, about 11 minutes. I think that's what the box even says. Okay, it doesn't say. Cool. 10 to 11 minutes. So yeah, it takes 11 minutes. And that's a perfect al dente. Now, cooking times will vary based on where you live. So here in Colorado, well, here in Denver, we're a mile above sea level, so water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Might boil a little faster in the south. I don't know what the boiling temp is. I forget. I learned it years ago. Now I don't remember. But the temperature of the water will determine how fast this is going to cook. Typically. What do you guys think of my hair? Cute, right? I love getting my hair dyed crazy colored. It covers the gray. Because I'm not a young spring chicken anymore. I'm going to give the pasta. So this is telling me we still got a ways to go here. But yeah, we got a ways to go. But while we're waiting on that, so spaghetti is a one-pot meal. It's easier than you think. All right, where's the knife I want to use? So this knife, this is one of the very first chef knives I ever got, and this is when I went to cooking school at Johnson & Wales. This was the knife that came in the knife kit. If you take a look closely at it, okay, you can see those numbers there. It's like a ruler. So this is what we use to measure our knife cuts. And over on this side, you can see, can you see it? Well, I don't know. No, you can't really see it on camera. There's diagrams. They are very faded. They used to be very prominent, so they're very faded. But there's diagrams on the back that show the different knife cuts and like what you're shooting for as far as size. So that's what that's for. So I'm just going to cut into this tube of sausage and just kind of, so I just cut all the way around. That is now a dirty knife. So the sausage is open. I cannot leave this unattended because my dog he's a jerk. And he will jump on the counter and he will steal this. Actually, me standing here guarding it sometimes is not enough. Keeping him off the counter, he's still in training. He's 3 years old. I'm still training him to not be a schmuck. He's wild and unruly. Labs can be stubborn, they can be. But we work with them daily. It's just harder during the school year because I work during the school year as a kitchen manager. So I don't have time to be here all day working with him. I do it at night and then I'm tired. And that's why we have meals like spaghetti, because I've been cooking all day today. I'm tired. I've been running around. Spaghetti is quick and easy-ish. Once the noodles are cooked, everything else goes fast because the pot is going to be hot. So when I add the sausage, it's going to cook rapidly. And I'm actually going to use my favorite spoon. So I treated myself to a new spoon. I got it on Amazon. I love this spoon. It's a wonderful spoon. Perfect. Yay. Okay. So our video is already 11 minutes. So I figured the pasta would be ready by now, but we're still going to give it another check. Let's see here. Oh, I don't need a mess of noodles on there. Oh, dear. That's one of the problems with the gas range. Noodle jumped overboard and I had to retrieve it and it got caught in the flame. Alright, let me see. 10 to 11 minutes is a lie. It's taking longer. That's actually pretty close though. So it's going to be about another minute. Okay, so I got my pot holders. So everything is going to cook in one pot, but in 3 stages. So we're going to drain the noodles. I've already got my pasta drainer over here. My colander is over here in the sink. I have a window on this side, living room on that side. So now you see where we're looking at. These are measuring cups. I know you can always see something weird here up in the corner of my video. Measuring cups. Treated myself to those 2 years ago. I love those measuring cups. So this should be about ready. So I'm not going to turn the burner off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that burner on. And I'm going to... Now this spoon is only for the meat. So I'm going to go ahead and start draining the pasta. Now... Yes, pasta does stick to itself very, very a lot, especially as it's cooling. It will clump. This is where I came up with a hack to keep it from doing that. You don't have to spray it, coat it with oil. You don't have to spray it with cooking spray. After I cook the sausage, there will be enough of the fat left in it that when I drain that sausage off, I drain it on top of the pasta. It'll coat the pasta and unclump it. You're welcome. Okay, the burner is still on. Now, you gotta be very careful doing this. So, I like to aim for the colander and then tilt my head back because I do not want to give myself a facial. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and tilt my camera so you can actually see what I'm doing. Otherwise, you've got like my back in the frame. Oh, that steam gets hot. All right. All right. All the noodles are out. Pot is back on the burner. So we're actually going to move over here now. Okay, yeah, do not. Okay. You can see me? Yes, good. Okay, so we got our pot. And you go... There's that. So let me get... Willie. I know what he wants to do. So now I'm just going to break up this sausage. It's already starting to cook. Oh, it's trying to stick. So my sister does something similar when she makes spaghetti. Oh, that's sticking. I think that's the starch left in the pot. It's causing it to stick. I don't always use this pot for spaghetti, so that's part of the problem. I don't really use this pot that much. Okay, now we're just going to let this cook. So this meat's already very well seasoned on its own. So I do have my seasoning lineup ready for the other stuff. So for the sauce, so I'm going to show you how I finish it. I'm not going to pause the video. We're just going to go straight through the whole process because that's what I do. My dogs are near. They have a thing for getting in the trash at bedtime. After we've gone to bed, that's when they get in the trash. Because they're evil. So, I fold this so I can hold it like this. So this is going to cook fast. Now this burner has a very strong flame under it. So this is my quick cooking burner. So if I'm in a hurry, this is the one I use. Okay, we are almost there. That pan's really nice and hot. So my husband used to make spaghetti a lot, especially after my daughter started preschool. So when she was 4, we would make spaghetti maybe once a week. And this is back during, this was back during right before the pandemic and then during COVID. He made spaghetti a lot, especially after my daughter started school because he started making it in 2018 in the winter because he worked for a landscaping company, and he would be off from the end of December through March. So he would be off work during that time unpaid, so I was the only one working. So we made an agreement that if he's not going to work during that time, then he needs to do something. And so the solution was he would make dinner while I worked. And because our daughter, when she was a lot younger, she was a little bit picky with food. So spaghetti was the one thing we knew she would eat. And now that she's older, she's branched out a lot. If you don't pressure your kids and you just open up new food items to them, they will stop being picky. They do grow out of that usually. Not all, but they will grow out of it most of the time, and they won't be such picky eaters. I was terrible. Growing up, I was a horrible eater. I was extremely picky. I was just completely ridiculous. Now, there's not a lot I won't eat. Not a lot. Certain vegetables I still don't like carrots. Don't like carrots. A lot of the root vegetables I don't really love. And I'm not a big fan of things that are bitter. So what I'm going to do is the meat is done. I'm going to drain it. So you can see my sink. Back to this. Okay. Into the colander. Okay. So all this does, it gets all that meat out of there. It also gets some of that fat out of there because we don't want that in our arteries. Absolutely not. All right. Almost had a noodle go overboard. So my noodles are just this side of al dente. So here's what I do now. I'm actually going to put this over here. Okay, you're there? You can see me? Okay. sauce, I just use regular old pasta sauce. It'll come out. There we go. Gotta shake it. Alright, I'm gonna add water to this. Okay, now we put the lid back on, so I added some water to this. Here's why. Waste not, want not. There was enough sauce in that jar. You don't want to waste that. Okay, now we're going to add, this is where I make it mine. Going to add garlic powder. Healthy amount of garlic because I like it. We're going to add just a dash of the onion powder. I add a little less of that. Now for my favorites. I'm going to add Italian seasoning. And I'm just going to measure it right in the palm of my hand. So about that much. That's probably maybe a teaspoon. It's going to give it a nice savory bite. Now I'm going to add oregano. Now oregano has to be one of my favorites. So I'm just going to use this porous one. So there is oregano in that Italian seasoning. Okay, so I'm going to take that red spoon and I'm going to just... So this sauce is almost to a boil now. So it's going to come up to a boil. And as soon as it's nice and close, I'm going to start adding, I'm going to throw the noodles and everything back in. So yes, I mix everything together. Some people do that. That looks good. So those of you watching my channel, I'm going to try and figure out how to put... Okay, we're boiling. So, noodles and meat. Okay, we're going to switch the spoon out. Pasta spoon. Just start stirring. The noodles are no longer clumped. And the sauce does help. All the meat's getting mixed in. You don't have to mix it like this, but this is how I keep it a one-pot dish. And everybody gets an equal amount of sauce, meat, everything. Okay, gotta kill the heat. And we are done. So, I'm gonna plate up my daughter's. I'm gonna show it to you. And then I will turn the video off. And I wanna show you how I finish this. Parmesan cheese. We're not using that canned junk. Nothing wrong with it. We're just not using it. And I do like pre-grated cheese because it saves my arm. That's why I always put in the pot holders away. Alright, now I'm getting into my dishes here. Alright, I treated myself to some new bowls recently. There's nothing special. It's dark blue around the rim and it's just a plain white bowl. Nothing special. But I like them. But to make the meal special for my daughter, she gets this rainbow fork. These are pretty cool. I like these. Okay, I'm going to plate up my daughter's food. Alright, so, bowl of spaghetti. I could make it pretty and put it on a plate, but it's spaghetti. She likes a lot of cheese. Know your audience. Put the fork in and voila. That is spaghetti a la Tracy. That works. We'll go with that. Thank you so much for joining me. I had an amazing time cooking for you. on the menu later this week. Maybe I'll show you how I make my leftovers. I don't know. Show you what I do. I do like to repurpose leftovers sometimes, so I'm thinking of doing something with that. Spaghetti, I don't repurpose. It's spaghetti you eat. Throw it in the microwave and eat. But when we do the chicken cordon bleu, I really hope you'll join me for that. And because I have a lot of chicken breast done, I will make 2 dinner. I will show you another dinner, probably Monday or even Sunday, that I make with chicken sauce. So you have a whole new chicken dish. So thank you for joining me. I love cooking for you, and I will see you with the next one. Bye!